On a quiet road in Spain, a small puppy sat alone by the side. Around his neck, a strange object caught the eye, a green book. The streets were full of homeless animals, but this one was different. His fur was clean, his body well-groomed, not the picture of a typical street dog. A woman driving by slowed her car, her curiosity piqued. She approached cautiously, wondering why such a young puppy, barely a few months old, would be left out in the open. As she got closer, she noticed the book tied around his neck. The puppy didn't move, his eyes filled with confusion. He seemed almost hopeful. With trembling hands, the woman gently untied the book. It was a medical journal, clearly well used. She flipped through the pages in disbelief, her heart sinking with each word. The puppy's name was UFO. He had been vaccinated just days earlier, his health records neatly documented. But what struck her most was the last page, which held details about the puppy's owners. Her mind raced. Why would anyone go through the trouble of vaccinating a dog only to abandon him on the road like this? Why tie a book around his neck? The puppy sat there, unmoving, as though still waiting for the family who had left him behind to return. She couldn't leave him there. Gently, she scooped the trembling puppy into her arms and rushed him to the animal shelter, where volunteers were just as shocked as she was. The story of UFO, abandoned with only a medical book as his connection to the past, spread quickly. They posted his photo online, hoping someone would step forward to adopt him. But the responses were not what they expected. Hours later, the shelter received a call. It was Jenny, the puppy's first owner. Jenny explained that she had given UFO to a new family, thinking they would provide him with a good home. She had no idea what had happened afterward. But when she saw his picture on the shelter's page, her heart shattered. How could anyone do this to a puppy who had been vaccinated and cared for? The internet had already erupted in anger, sending Jenny hurtful messages. With tears in her eyes, she explained the whole truth to the shelter. Without hesitation, she arrived at the shelter and took UFO home herself, apologizing profusely for the nightmare he had endured. As the door closed behind her, UFO looked up at her with wide, trusting eyes. He had survived the cruelty of the world, still holding on to his gentleness.